Well, I mean, look what's happening right now. In the last just couple of weeks, we're really seeing the impact of illegal criminals in this country. This really speaks to the unknowns at the open border. It's not that Americans don't want immigration. They want legal immigration. But look what's going on with the illegal migrants. Illegal migrant crime exploding across the United States. A migrant from Ecuador charged with raping a 13-year-old girl in New York City, in Queens, in a Queens Park. And then in Houston, 2 migrants from Venezuela charged with killing a 12-year-old girl. Border Patrol reportedly released one of those migrants just last month. And then the migrant from El Salvador arrested for the murder of the Maryland mother, Rachel Morin. Former President Trump spoke to Morin's family yesterday after the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas failed to mention her name. He couldn't even mention her name in an interview earlier this week. 3 Honduran and 2 Mexican migrants were arrested in the kidnapping of a 14-year-old Indiana girl. And then there's the Chinese migrant wanted for murder in Los Angeles. He was arrested while attempting to cross the San Diego border. Even with all of these devastating stories, a federal judge is ruling against Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' new law that made it illegal for migrants who've been deported or denied entry into the United States to enter Iowa. The judge ruled that the law was unconstitutional. The Biden administration has sued Iowa over the law, and Governor Reynolds is vowing to appeal the decision. Congressman, what's your take on all of this?
Well, first, a huge salute to our governor here in Iowa, Governor Reynolds, who has sent our National Guard to the front line at the southern border. I've been part of that mobilization. I've helped command troops in that situation. Additionally, we have a federal government who's more intent on spending money trying to sue states than actually using that money to help pay Customs and Border Patrol the overtime they so desperately need to secure our border, to close the wall, things President Biden could do today to remain in Mexico in catch and release, the same kind of things he's failed to do that have resulted in, sadly, the death of Iowans like Molly Tibbetts, who were killed by illegals who entered the country. And if the federal government can't, won't, or refuses to do its job, allowing our local law enforcement officers to at least protect our country when folks who have been legally detained and then aren't being kicked out of the country even when they're supposed to be, these now become our frontline defenders. I was able to get bipartisan legislation through the House of Representatives calling into question here how much money it's costing our local law enforcement for the enforcement, not to mention the deadly fentanyl scourge that is coming from the southern border, killing 150 Americans a day. This is truly a national crisis that's being left unanswered. I salute our folks here in Iowa for doing the right thing. I've led the charge in Congress with H.R. 2, one of the first bills that I passed in my opening days as a freshman member in Congress, to shut the border and secure our country. But any bill passed isn't going to be able to be achieved if the president refuses to enforce them, or even worse, if the president comes after good states like Iowa who are trying to do the right thing to protect legal immigrants, but most importantly, protect U.S. citizens who are under siege in places right here in the heart of the heartland.
Yeah, all the more reason to appreciate and cherish you and all of the incredibly courageous men and women who defend our freedom